Well, hello and welcome to Are We There Yet? Marketscale's online video podcast series that explores the most exciting things happening in all of transportation and mobility today. My name is Grant Harrell, and as your host, I enjoy the opportunity to speak with leaders within all of transportation and mobility, learning about what they're most excited about and some of the most innovative things happening within their company and industry. There really is so much going on right now in terms of transportation and mobility, and truly one of the industries and verticals that I'm most excited about is the railroad industry. And so today, to speak with us about things happening within the railroad industry is a leading company, Holland, who is truly one of the most innovative companies in all of the railroad industry. I'm really proud today to have the opportunity to speak with Louis Flenner of Holland, who serves as a product manager for their HAMR Welding group. Louis, hello, and welcome to Are We There?
Hey, Grant. Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to stop by today and to have a conversation within the Are We There Yet video podcast series. As I shared, we'd love to kind of explore things that are happening in all of transportation and mobility, and just have been really impressed with your work and the work that Holland is conducting within the railroad industry. I understand that the company has been around since about 1935, and that it really is that innovation that really defines, I think, the company within the industry, and truly are leading the way in a lot of the products and technologies that you've developed within the organization. Louis, I understand too that you've spent a lot of time in the railroad industry yourself. I think I saw over 12 or 13 years, so I know that you're passionate about what you do. If you don't mind, Louis, I'd love to just jump into learning a little bit more about you. Would you mind maybe telling the audience a little bit about yourself, how you found your way to the railroad industry, and why you're so passionate about what?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for asking. So, so I was actually in the Marines for 8 years, and when I got out, I was in the process of getting hired as a police officer in Columbus, Ohio, and I had about a 6-month wait until my class started at the academy. So, in the meantime, a friend of mine who worked in the railroad industry asked me if I'd like to work for about 4 or 5 months. They needed to fill a gap with a vacancy. And if I didn't stick around, it was no harm, no foul. He knew I was getting hired in the police department. I said, sure, why not? So I tried it out. And 13, 14 years later, I'm still deciding if I like it or not.
That's awesome. Well, you must like it. I really just have been impressed learning a little bit about your background. I see that you've been with Holland for a couple of years now, and a couple of other leaders within the industry. I think I noticed Geismar and Pandrol and Rail Tech Americas, and so definitely, sound like you really do enjoy what you're doing. As I mentioned, I've really been impressed as I've learned more about Holland, and especially your innovation. And as I understand, the organization really has the largest fleet of mobile welders on the globe, as I understand it. And I've really enjoyed learning about, some of the services and products you offer within flash butt welding and your more recently introduced HAMR service. And so just a lot of really exciting innovations and technologies that the company has developed. I know that many of our audience members out there, though, might not be as familiar with Holland as a company. Would you mind maybe telling us a little bit more about?
Yeah, so Holland offers a variety of services, turnkey services for the railroad industry. The biggest product that we offer is flash butt welding services and track geometry services. So in our flash butt welding, we're basically doing joint elimination or new construction on track, where we are, in general terms, we're fusing the rail together with electricity. So it is a flash welding process, and then we also do track geometry services as part of our product line as well, where we go out and measure, look for defects, overall infrastructure for the railroad industry.
Very good. Very good. Well, that really, I think, is really cool, innovative, cutting edge stuff. And like I said, I've really enjoyed learning a little bit more about it. And I understand that the mobile welders, for example, and getting into the flash butt welding and the HAMR service, for example, it's really an improvement upon, kind of the way that things were done for a long time in the industry. I understand that a lot of these kind of techniques and the welding itself were done, manually. And of course, there were safety issues, especially within the railroad industry, and that, Holland has really identified these opportunities and really a better way, of doing things. Would you mind, maybe speaking to that a little bit about kind of the way that things were done before, maybe kind of in respect of the HAMR product and kind of some of the issues that were maybe associated with the way of doing things prior to the HAMR service?
Yeah. So specifically focusing on the frog welding, the traditional method is a manual method. So you have a person who is basically stick welding on track or off track. Basically, they are hovered over the frog or hovered over the asset. It could be a diamond as well. Welding with stick rods and basically just staying over this thing. It's a manual process. It's dirty. It's long. It can be tedious, and depending on how much time you have, the quality can vary for this type of welding. What HAMR has done is we've automated the process. So Holland has come in, developed this process for the manganese repair, which again is for the frogs and diamonds, and we've been able to basically create a shroud of safety around this as well with the operation. We've taken the person away from the fumes from the smoke. We've added consistency with the beads that we put down, and we've been able to quickly get on and off track, which is a huge benefit when we're tight on time, basically. So yeah. Our mobile vehicles are able to get in, and basically get out whenever we need to do this type of work. So yeah, a huge benefit again is the consistency. The quality is always going to be the same on there, and we can stand back away from the work while it's being done. Our operator is able to go do something else, and then come back and verify the work, hit the button, and get back to work again. If it's a manual process, they may start something on a Friday, have to clear up in a couple hours, and then somebody else may come out on a Saturday to continue the work. So you'll see varying degrees of quality and consistency in that respect. Whereas with our process, we're able to streamline that.
That's great. Improved, consistent quality, much safer than the traditional way of doing things. That ability, like you said, to do it, potentially where you even got cars going, on a nearby track, seemed like some pretty major advantages. I think I even saw a video somewhere where they were using the product on one track, and I don't think it was 8 or 10 feet away that there was a railroad car, traveling by. So really does offer that ability to, not have to stop or delay operation of things going on. Can a lot of time make those repairs, it sounds like, and, keep things going, a short distance.
Yeah, that's a big factor. Clearing the track when you have movement on adjacent track. That's a big part of this because we do have a robot. It is automated. We don't have to clear that track. Our guys can stand off track. The actual human operators can stand back, and the machine can still keep running as trains go by. So we don't have to stop. Yeah, we don't have to stop working while trains are going by.
That's great. I can imagine the individuals who are that are working with the HAMR product really have to love this as well as an alternative to kind of the old way of doing things, and certainly a much safer product. But it sounds like just overall a lot easier, more efficient to operate as well. It sounds.
Yeah, it can be. There's a lot of technology that goes into this. So actually, within our industry, we have to basically railroad proof everything. So. It is, it's a heavy duty, dirty industry that we operate in. And, we're putting a lot of technology out there in this industry with our trucks, how we're building them, the programs that we're using. We're working with our suppliers and our vendors as well to come up with better methods of manufacturing, the products that they produce, for us, and how we apply them. We take things that go in labs and put them outside, and, we're rough with them, which is, we're battle testing these things for them, if you will. But the technology definitely serves. It's a huge benefit for us because, again, with the consistency and quality, we're able to bring something to the table that you can't get with the human factor on there. So we've seen a lot of that benefit, both us and the customer, with our personnel being able to, just be, flexible, computer literate, have technical savvy, being able to troubleshoot, being able to talk to some of our technicians about some of the code, perhaps, or the programming with the robots, which, that's a daily thing. And that's not very common in the road industry anymore.
I love that. I really have. I love to hear that. I think that you're certainly, through these technology and innovations, really expanding the knowledge of the employees and the individuals that work with these products, and empowering them even further with knowledge of, coding and new technologies and new methods to do things. So I really love that idea too, that this is very much something that's just really expanding the knowledge of individuals that are actually working with the.
Yeah, it's neat too. I mean, when you say, hey, there's a laser truck out there welding on track, I'm going to go see, oh, what's it doing?
Yeah. Wow. Well, and it sounds like too, the results really speak for themselves. You mentioned that it's more efficient, that it's more consistent. I've had the opportunity just to check out, some of the papers and research studies that were really kind of, analyzing some of the longer term results after these services were conducted, and it seems that the results really speak for themselves. I mean, this is actually something that's improving that process. It's a better way to do it. You mind speaking to that a little?
Yeah, we're very happy with the results we've seen. So we had a pilot program in 2019. We began 2018, 2019 with a pilot program with a partner customer. So we were able to install, we were able to install about 75 frogs in a very specific area on the customer's line. We were able to watch them over the course of a few years. We did have some of the frogs that were removed, out of the track, and that was due to planned maintenance. So we knew that they would be taking these frogs out at a certain point in time. So we anticipated we would lose some of them. But the nice thing is, over the last 3 years, we've been able to go out every single year to look at these frogs, the ones that are still in track. And again, they vary in traffic and location on this line. So we're able to see frogs that are in yards and frogs that are on main line, frogs that are in sidings. And the results are phenomenal. The feedback that we get from the customer and the employees that take us out on the on track, it's very positive. They're impressed when they see, okay, well, these haven't been, there may have not been a lot of maintenance, between these months or this time frame here, and they still look good. These are riding, exceptionally well. They look great, and they're lasting. That's a big part of this, is the longevity. Is when you see the longevity for manual welding and for robotic welding with our process, there's a huge difference. Yeah. And at one point last year, we were able to actually look at a frog that had been installed a few months prior to a frog that was maybe 100 feet away that had been serviced by us back in 2019. And the results were very similar. You saw the same type of defects, but the difference was we were looking at a newer frog compared to a refurbished frog. And when you see that longevity with that refurbished frog, there's a lot of confidence, a lot of pride in that, the work that we had done.
Yeah. So it sounds like the results definitely speak for themselves. You've done, a lot of studies kind of comparing and even over time, what the results look like, and things sound to be very positive. I'd love to kind of pose the question within the Are We There Yet series. I always like to ask, are we there yet, in terms of a point within the conversation. So in terms of kind of this HAMR, more automated, type of welding within the railroad industry, are we there yet in terms of that kind of becoming kind of the industry standard and kind of the way that things will be done, moving forward? Is there still, or alternatively, is there still a lot of kind of, manual welding or the old fashioned way of doing things? How do things kind of look right now with this new technology versus kind of the traditional way of doing it?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say we're getting there.
Okay.
We're not there yet, but we've definitely made strides in this specific niche in the market.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of attention for it, which is great. And again, with the way the industry is with, precision railroading, the labor force, we're bringing a lot of stuff to the table for them, a lot of variables that maybe, we're giving them some breathing room, if you will. They can send their crews to other areas to focus on infrastructure, knowing that, the product or the service that we've offered them, gives them that breathing room. They have a few months, to work with, where they don't have to come back and intervene with the frog or diamond because they know it's lasting in there. So they can focus labor or manpower somewhere else. The other thing is too, we're making our trucks, our technology more mobile. So if you were to look at our first couple trucks that were produced, they're behemoths, they're big, they're workhorses, they're awesome. They last. But over the last year, we've been shrinking them down to be more mobile, more efficient. And we're also building in consistency with these. So they're basically being cookie cutter. So we can offer a service to one customer. And if we have to swap out the truck for another customer for extra coverage or overlap, we can do it seamlessly.
Yeah. That's great. Can you tell me a little bit about, how this all works within kind of an ideal scenario? So I'd love, if you have a client example or company that you can reference that maybe uses it, great. If not, totally, understand, but would love to learn even, kind of generally who typically, is your customer for this product, and how does it work for them to start, implementing the HAMR product, the HAMR service, for example, within their operation?
Yeah, that's a great question too. So basically any customer with railroad.
Okay.
Our main customer is Union Pacific. So we partnered with them for quite a few years developing this process.
Okay.
And they do currently use our services. They actually have a couple of our trucks in their northern and southern region. Basically we can work in track, which offers the most value, but because of inventory needs and because of the quantity of frogs that they have, we've been able to work out of track too in a big area. So if they have a location for us in a rail yard somewhere across their system, they can pull in dozens of frogs for us, and we can basically drive up to the frogs, do our work, and as they're finishing, the customer will take them, either put them in inventory or they'll put them in service.
Okay.
So they have the option in track or out of track. And again, if we're looking for the volume, we're going to be out of track, just working there for weeks on end, even months in some locations where we'll be able to basically turn out a lot of frogs for the customer, the various types of frogs too. Frogs that goes in yards and frogs that go in the main line. Okay.
Very good. Very good. That's great to hear. I really appreciate that. And gosh, a leader like Union Pacific and working with many others, it sounds like as well, that's really exciting. And very much an international company, I've noticed as well. I think I saw recently we're sending some products to Australia. So certainly your operations and support of the industry, certainly not limited to the United States. It sounds like very much a global company as well.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So we do have operations in Australia as well.
Okay.
Canada and Mexico. We're actually getting ready for a big demonstration with our services up in Canada next month, in May.
Okay.
So we'll be doing some demos up there for our Canadian companies as well, and hopefully pushing more vehicles, pushing more services up there with them.
Yeah. Gosh, that's really exciting. Wow. Anything else? We've talked a lot about kind of some of the mobile welding products, the HAMR product line, which I think is so exciting. And so I'd love to hear from you, and maybe it's related to kind of that product line or services, or maybe a completely other kind of application or product as well. But when you yourself kind of look to 2023 and the majority of the year ahead of us, and even beyond the next couple of years, are there any things specifically that you're really excited about in terms of kind of technologies or applications, within the HAMR product line, or even elsewhere that kind of keeps you excited every day working within the?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and again, HAMR is a big one. That's the product line that I deal with, and it's very exciting to see where we're taking this. The markets we're moving into, which is great. Of course, with the way the state of the world is with supply and demand. We are kind of limited right now with how many trucks we can manufacture.
Yep.
Based on supply, but we're moving quick. It's great. Scaling has just been, again, it's been up and down. Excuse me, because of supply.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can move into Canada fairly quickly. We've already been exploring Australia as well.
Very good. Very good. You mentioned too, and I think to your point, rail is such an important mode of transportation in the world today, and I think will be for a very, very long time. And I think, as you said, there's a lot of exciting things happening in trucking and aerospace and a lot of different verticals within all of transportation. But in a lot of areas, a lot of verticals and sectors, I mean, rail is just really essential in terms of moving goods, and especially at scale and with the quantities that we need, every day. And so I think to your point there, rail is so important, and sounds like from everything that you've shared today and that I know within the industry will continue to be really a crucial part of getting goods to us every.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, with this development in our product, we're servicing this asset that, it takes a pounding, it takes a beating, with all the trains going over it, the shared lines with other customers as well.
Yeah.
And building in that factor for longevity and, the safety factor in there, it keeps the trains moving,
Yep.
because they don't have to shut down to keep going back to repair the frogs, every few months.
Yep.
They're able to keep trains moving.
Yep.
On the track and getting products going across the U.S.
Yeah, very good. Well, I would encourage definitely any individuals and organizations out there, that are interested in learning more about the HAMR products and really all of the products and services, definitely to reach out to Holland, because I know I've just been so impressed with your very extensive portfolio of products and services. From my review, it seems like y'all kind of do it all. But gosh, even getting into the cars themselves and maintaining the cars, and even purchasing cars and equipment, it sounds like you really offer everything within the industry. So I've really been intrigued to learn more about that and just everything that you offer the industry.
Yeah, it's almost like a one-stop shop. We service cars, again with the infrastructure, with our inspection services, new construction, turnkey services with the welding. The joint elimination on there. Yeah, absolutely. We service the car industry as well, with the cars that are manufactured, the locking systems, the load support systems that we manufacture. Absolutely. We touch almost every aspect of that.
So we've talked, Louis, about just the company's very, very impressive history since about 1935. And I understand as well that you were the organization that brought a really first of its kind product to the United States. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah. So we just recently celebrated our 50th anniversary for introducing the first mobile flash butt welder in North America.
Nice. Very good. I appreciate that. Yeah. Well, I just want to share with you, Louis, it's been just a lot of fun to get to have a conversation with you today, and I've really enjoyed, especially getting to learn more about the HAMR product and the mobile welding units. I think that's one of the coolest things that's happening in the industry, and from our conversation today, I think the audience will see just how effective the results really speak for themselves. And so for those organizations in the industry looking to kind of improve, their operations and, maintain the rail itself, this really is an incredible solution that I think offers all of that. Would love, if you don't mind, to maybe direct the audience, so for individuals and companies out there that would like to learn more about the HAMR product line, but really Holland's entire portfolio of products, what's the best way to learn more about the company?
Absolutely. Yeah. If you go to hollandco.com, you can find a variety of information there for all of our services, a lot of information, history of the company as well.
Very good. Very good. Well, please do check out the website. I know I've had a lot of fun checking out the website myself, and just have a great website in terms of, I think, just a nice overview of everything, some great case studies and reports, just really substantiate everything that Louis has shared with me today and that you'll find on the website. So definitely encourage everyone out there to check out the website, learn more about Holland and all the incredible products and services that they offer. And Louis, thank you so much for your time today. I really enjoyed our conversation. It's been a lot of fun, and appreciate you taking a few minutes to chat.
Thanks, Grant. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you.